Hi, welcome back to the Power of Model Drawing. Now, today we are going to continue with our creative model drawing for P3 and P4. Alright, okay, so we are going to continue with our drawing for our Primary 3 and Primary 4. So let's look at the first problem and let's see how do we draw out the problem. Now, the three questions that you're going to see today will be quite challenging. So the best way to solve the problem is by drawing out the model. So only when you draw the model, then you can see the problem more clearly. Alright, so let's look at practice problem 1. Now, Christopher had $134 more than Ryan at first. After Christopher gave $262 to Ryan, Ryan had 3 times as much as Christopher. So how much did they have all together? Now, this is a before and after problem, right? You can see that the first sentence, Christopher had $134 more at first. So that is the before. And then something happened, right? Christopher gave some money to Ryan. So there's a transfer. So every time there's a transfer, the total is unchanged. And then what happened, what's the after? Ryan had 3 times as much as Christopher in the end. So this is a before and after problem. So every time you recognize the question as a before and after, you need to ask what is unchanged. So in this problem, the total is unchanged because there is a transfer. Alright, so how do we draw out the model? You will have before model and also the after model. So let's draw the before model. So before model, alright, you have Christopher, who has more money than Ryan. So I'm going to draw a rectangle that's a little longer. Okay, so you have a long rectangle. And Ryan has lesser money. Alright, and how much more money does Christopher have than Ryan? Which is $154 more. Alright, you can see that I'm doing freehand. So when you come to Primary 5, Primary 6, you will need to try to draw freehand. Alright, use freehand to draw your model. But at Primary 3 and Primary 4 levels, do try to use a ruler. Alright, then when you go higher, then you try to use your hand, your freehand. Alright, do freehand drawing. Okay, now, so this is a before model. After Christopher gave $262 to Ryan, so I have to cut a big part here. Alright, because $262 is bigger than $154. So I have to cut a bigger part. So $262. So let me just put 262 inside the box. Okay, and this is still the before model, even though I cut it already, but it is still there. The money is still inside Christopher's rectangle. So he hasn't given away. You just cut it to show that he's going to give away. So how do you draw the after model? Alright, now for the after model, you will have Christopher and Ryan again. And when you do your drawing, or when you draw your model, make sure that they are aligned at the same side. It means that you start your drawing at the same side. And now Christopher will have less money already. So make sure that the rectangle that you draw in the after is the same as the before. I mean the same. Like, can you see the, alright, over here, the size of this box must be about the same size as the after. Alright, so that you don't get confused. Alright, and then how about Ryan? Ryan will get more money. So the rectangle for Ryan will have to be longer. Okay, so something like that. Okay, something like that. So you don't have to be perfect in your drawing. Just have to make sure that Ryan's rectangle is longer than before. Alright, then what happened later? Ryan had 3 times. So if you cannot cut the rectangle into 3 boxes, because if you look at the after model, you can see Ryan's rectangle is quite long. So it's a bit hard to cut 3 boxes, because if Ryan had 3 boxes, then Christopher will have only 1 time or 1 unit. So how to cut 3 units? They won't look proportional. So to avoid erasing means you don't want to draw again. So how to not draw again? You just draw an arrow sign and then you just put 3 units. So you don't have to redraw. Alright, you don't have to erase and draw again. So that's how you show that Ryan had 3 times as much as Christopher in the end. Okay, so how much did they have altogether? Now the total is unchanged, so which means that the total at first and the total in the end will be the same. Okay, alright, so your model is done. This is how the before and after model looks like. So how do we use the model to solve? Alright, now the model has now become your question, which means that you don't really need to look at the question to try to work out the steps. So you look at the model and you study your model. Right, for example, can you see the 1 unit? Christopher has 1 unit in the end. So you just go to, Christopher has 1 unit in the end. So you just go to the before, right, the before model for Christopher, and you put 1 unit, right, because that box is the same, right, same as the after, all right. Okay, and then can you come down to Ryan's rectangle and cut here? And that is also 1 unit, all right. And then can you find how much is the empty box? You take $262 and you minus 154. So your first step by looking at the model is to take 262 and you minus 154. And that will give you how much is the empty box. And you will get $108 and you put inside the empty box. So that's how you work out the steps by looking at the model. Then you look at the after. You can do the same thing, cuts here as well, and that is also 1 unit, right? And then can you see the $108, right, that Ryan has? You just cut the same $108, right? Okay, so you have 1 unit and $108. All right, so Ryan has 1 unit and $108 at first, and then he received $262 from Christopher. All right, so you fill in the rectangles. All right, then what do you do next? Then you look at the after model and you study. Can you see how many unit is this? All right, this will be 2 units. All right, because you take 3 units and you minus 1 unit, you get 2 units. So which means that your 2 units is equal to how much? Is equal to 108 plus $262. All right, so let's work out. And what do we get? You will get $370. See, if your model is clear, you can actually work out the steps by looking at the model. Then you find 1 unit, which is 370, and you divide by 2. And what do you get? You will get $185. So once you can find how much is 1 unit, you can solve the problem. So the total is unchanged. So how many units they have altogether? They have a total of 4 units, right? Because Ryan has 3 times as much as Christopher in the end. So total they have altogether is 4 units. So $185, which is 1 unit, and you times 4. And what do you get? You will get $740. So which means the total at first is 740, and the total in the end will also be $740. All right, and that's how you solve the problem. All right, so you can see that the problem looks actually quite challenging at first, but when you try to draw out the problem, you can find that the model will guide you. All right, guide you how to come up with the steps. Okay, now let's go to the other example. Now, Kenneth and Lucy had the same number of cookies at first. So when you see the word at first, most likely it is a before and after problem. After Kenneth bought another 26 cookies and Lucy gave 43 cookies. So this is the change. Something happens. So what's the after? The after is they have 279 cookies left, which is the total left. So that's the after. So how many cookies did each of them have at first? So again, this is a before and after problem. So what is unchanged? So when you have questions which are before and after, then you need to think about what is unchanged. So there are 4 possible answers. The first one is total unchanged. One group unchanged, difference unchanged, or everything changes. So if you look at this problem, Kenneth bought more cookies. Lucy gave away some cookies. So everything changes. All right, there's no transfer. So the total has also changed. All right, so everything changes. Then how do we draw the model? All right, same. You have to draw 2 sets of model, before and after. Okay, so let's draw the before model. All right, sometimes you can also put the 2 models together as one. So it all depends on how you want to draw. Like there are some questions that Mr. Ong can also combine them. Sometimes I can also separate them into 2 sets of model. So it's up to you, right, how you want to draw your problem. So Kenneth and Lucy had the same number of cookies at first. So I draw 2 equal rectangles, right, something like this, right? Okay, so to show that they are equal, Mr. Ong made use of dotted line. If you still remember, dotted line is to show equal number, right? And then how do you draw the after? Okay, after. Okay, let's continue. So after Kenneth bought another 26 cookies, So which means that Kenneth's rectangle has now become longer. Okay, longer by how many? Longer by 26. Okay, longer by 26. Okay, so you can extend the dotted line downwards if you want. And Lucy gave away 43. So I can cut here. This is 43. Alright, so Lucy is going to give away 43 cookies. So how does her rectangle looks like? Her rectangles will look shorter now. Okay, shorter by 43. Okay, then in the end, they have how many cookies left altogether? They have 279 cookies left in the end. So how many cookies did each of them have at first? So question mark, right? And of course, you can also put your question mark for Lucy as well. So each person will have the same number at first. And your model is done. Okay, so that's how your model looks like. So you draw out the first sentence, then the second sentence, and then the third sentence. Alright, so once you have drawn correctly or carefully, then the model has become your problem. So how do you use the model to solve? Now, same thing, you look at the model and you cut the rectangle into parts, right? Different parts. Like, can you see 43? Lucy gave away 43. So I'm going to go down and cut 43 over here. Okay? And once you have done that, then you go to the after model and you can see two empty boxes on the left side. So the two empty boxes on the left side, they are equal. So you can call them units. So model drawing have units. Alright, so what are units? They are units that they represent equal boxes. So if you see boxes that look equal or they are equal, then you call them units. And I can also put one unit over here as well. Okay? And I can go up and cut and put one unit as well. And I can also put 43 over here. Right, so which means that both person, Kenneth and Lucy at first, they have 1 unit and 43. Okay, alright, then how do we continue with the model? Now, if you look at the after model, if I add the after model, if I add Kenneth and Lucy, right, so how many do they have all together in the end? Both of them will have 1 unit plus 1 unit, which is 2 unit, and plus 43, and plus 26. Alright, so what am I doing? I am finding their total in the end. So I'm adding Kenneth rectangle, which is over here, and I'm adding Lucy's rectangle. So I'm finding their total. I add all whatever that's in the boxes. I add them together, and the total in the end will be 279. Okay, so you understand? So you look at the after model, you add up everything inside in the after model, and that will give you 279. So which means that your 2 unit plus 43 plus 26, that will be how many? That will be 69. And that is equal to the total, 279. So can I find how many is 2 unit? You take 279 and you minus 69. And you will get 210. And now you can find 1 unit, which is 210, and then you divide by 2. So 210 divided by 2, you will get 105. So your 1 unit is 105. So can you find the question mark? Yes, you just take 1 unit plus 43, and you will get how many does Kenny have at first. So you take 105, which is 1 unit, and you plus 43, and each person will have how many at first? Each person will have 148 at first. And you have solved the problem easily, right? So this is 148, and this is also 148, and there you go. All right, and you have solved it. All right, it's a 4-mark question. All right, so this is a before and after model. So every time if it's a before and after model, you need to think about what is unchanged. Right? Is the total unchanged? When is the total unchanged? When there's a transfer. Or is the difference unchanged? When is the difference unchanged? When both person give away equal number of cookies, or both person receive equal number of cookies, then the difference will be unchanged. Or is one person unchanged? What is one person unchanged? It means that the only one person give away cookies, or the only one person buy cookies. Alright, so if only one person bought cookies, or if there's only one person who gave away cookies, then the other person is unchanged. Alright, but in this question, everything has changed. So there are four possible answers: total unchanged, one group unchanged, difference unchanged, or everything changes. Alright, so that's how you solve this problem. Alright, let's go to the last practice problem. Okay, question number 3. So let's read the question. Now, Emma had 4 times as many as Benny. After Emma gave 60 beads to Benny, there's a transfer. So the total is unchanged. Of course, this is also a before and after problem. And then what happened in the after? Both of them had the same number of beads. So how many beads did each of them have at first? So every time you see the word at first, most likely the question is a before and after problem. Alright, so again, we are going to draw before and after model. So do I need to draw 2 sets of model? Well, it's really up to you, right? But in this problem, I can combine the models into one set. Let's draw the before model first. So the before model, Emma had 4 times. So let's put Emma, Benny. And make sure when you draw your rectangle, don't draw too small. Otherwise, you find that you have difficulty cutting. And then Benny has one box, 1 time. Alright, that's the first sentence. Alright, you draw the first sentence. After Emma gave 60 to Benny, then they had the same number of beads in the end. Alright, so how do I put the after model inside this before model? How do I combine them? Alright, so I'm going to add on the model. I'm going to draw the after model together with the before model. So both of them are going to have the same number. So remember the equal number, equal concept. If both of them had the same number, it means that both of them had equal number. So I'm going to draw a dotted line to show equal concept. So first of all, how to draw the after model? Which means that both of them have equal number. You look at how many more does Emma have than Benny. How many more? Alright, then you cut the how many more into half using dotted line. And that dotted line is going to show your equal concept. What does that mean? Alright, can you see that you cut one box into 2 smaller parts? So you do the same for the rest of the boxes. Alright, and then now can you see that Emma gave away how many boxes? Emma must have given away 3 units. Alright, 3 units. Can you see that? Okay, 3 units. And these 3 units goes to who? Goes to Benny. Alright, Benny. So Benny is going to receive the 3 units until the dotted line. And again, you can see that Benny gets 3 units, 1, 2, and 3. So now in the end, both of them are going to have equal number, which is represented by the dotted line. Okay, so the 3 boxes that Emma are giving away, they now go to Benny. So in the end, what happens? In the end, both of them will have equal number. So I'm going to use a blue color to show the equal number in the end. And the rectangles in the end are until the dotted line. So every time I want to show equal concept, I will use a dotted line to show the equal parts, the equal rectangles. Okay, alright, so every box now has 1 unit. So let's put 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit into every box. Okay, alright, and now you can see the boxes are full of units. Alright, so which means that Emma has given 3 units, which is also 60. So how many beads did each of them have at first? So if you find that you can't put a question mark because the model looks a bit cluttered, then you can do something like this. Alright, just put a question mark beside the name. Right, so be creative. Alright, so how many beads did each of them have at first? Alright, so you got to be very careful. Make sure that you are finding the beads at first, not in the end. Alright, so at first, how many units does Emma have? Emma has 8 units, right, at first. So if 3 units is equal to 60, which is what Emma is giving away, then 1 unit is 60 divided by 3. And 1 unit is 20. So Emma has how many units at first? She has 8 units at first. Okay, before she gave away the 3 units. So you have 20, and then you times 8, that will be 160. So Emma has 160 at first. Then how about Benny? Benny has 2 units at first. Okay, 2 units at first. So that will be 20, which is 1 unit, and then you times 2. And that will be 40. So Benny has 40 at first. Okay, all right. So it's actually quite easy, right? Quite easy to draw the model. So in this problem, Mr. Ong put the before and after model together as one. All right, you can also separate the two models. It's really up to you how you want to draw it. So when you draw your model, never try to copy my model. Always try to draw out on your own by looking at the sentence and draw out the sentence on its own, and use your own creativity, right? Use your own use your own style, right? Follow your own style, and your model drawing should not be too much different, right? Should not be too different from my drawing, right? Your drawing, as long as you draw the model accurately or you draw the model correctly, you should be able to use your model to work out some steps. Even if you can't get the answer, you should still be able to work out some steps. Okay? Alright, so that's the end of our drawing lesson for today. So stay tuned for the next lesson. So every Thursday, what I will be showing you is how to draw out the problem. And if you are able to draw out the problem, you can solve the problem. Alright? Okay, so see you on next Thursday.